Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert. So since last episode, I have been doing a little bit of building, like in this room, adding the ceiling, which this is going to be leaves in this case. Adding that, I also added these water wheels right through here. They're not actually plugged up, they're not producing any power, but I do have the water from up here. I finally opened this up, it's flowing down, and in between this dirt and running the water wheels. So we do have a little bit of movement inside of this crevice of the that kind of runs through the base. So right now I have this water stopped. It will eventually go further down. So and then I added some railings, and I expanded this room out a little bit. Still got a little ways to go though. And this area over here, this has been running splendidly. Now the first night after I set it up, I went to bed. I came back and it had stopped, and I was like, "Oh no, what's going on? This should have ran just fine. It should have kept up, but it didn't. The reason was because I didn't have my GP loaded, so that caused a little bit of an issue. So I chunk loaded that, and then I tried again, and it's been running great. It's been running. So make sure that your GP production, make sure that's chunk loaded. Make sure you don't forget about that, because otherwise the fuel potency on this stuff, basically it goes down to basically nothing. No efficiency boost for having the red coal. And now it is backed up here. It's backed up here. It's also backed up in the dropper, like 100% backed up in the dropper. So we have plenty we have plenty of red coal coming from the system, and coal is starting to filter over into the main system. So we still have to speed all this up, don't get me wrong. I mean, it needs a lot more endoflames. But like I said last episode, as we add more endoflames, we use up more coal, but we also produce more coal. And so then it's really just a matter of adding a lot more endoflames, producing more ores, which in turn produces more coal. We may have to add possibly an additional mechanical squeezer, though I doubt it. I think mechanical squeezer, we should be good. This resonator, we will have to add more speed upgrades. We'll have to upgrade to the better speed upgrades, which we'll be doing that before too long. Because these are, let me find them here. They are craftable, right here. So the magical, you can have up to 16 of these, but they do take a little bit more effort to craft. And then there's the ultimate, which you can have up to 64 of. But they do take, once again, a little bit to craft. Drops of evil, so we will have to automate those. But anyways, aside from that, it's been running great. 100% self-sufficient orchid design. So it just has to be scaled. And to scale it, we need the jaded amaranthas, and so that's what we're going to be working on today. We're going to get the jaded amaranthas, maybe the petal apothecary automated. We'll see where we get to. But before we start on that stuff, we need to automate some liquids. And what we're going to do is we're going to craft ourselves two machines from thermal, just to help us out. There's other ways that we could do this, but the thermal method is fairly reasonable to do. So first up, we're going to need to get ourselves a Magma Crucible. We're going to need a redstone reception coil. We should be able to move through this pretty quickly, I think. And I don't know if these are going to complete any quests or not. I'm not for sure. We'll see. Okay, there's our Magma Crucible. And then I also want to get a Fluid Transposer. I'm going to want one of these, which does require a carpenter. That's fine. We can get one of those. Oh, what all are we missing? 2 Invar gears, a redstone reception coil. Okay, so there's our Fluid Transposer. And that's all we need. Let's see. Then we need an infinite water source, which I've already made one of those. And then we need maybe some upgrades. We've got a resonant conversion kit. Then I've got this hardened kit as well. Yeah, I think if we just do the hardened on the Magma Crucible, that should be fine. Yeah, we'll just go with that. And then I'm going to need, of course, 2 interfaces. Well, actually, I need 1 interface, and then I need 1 export bus, I think is what we'll go with. So we'll get that. And then let me get just a piece of smooth stone. Okay, there we go. And then I also want to get an ender tank. And then let me also get orange dye. We'll go orange, orange, orange for the lava line. And then let me get a diamond, which I'm actually out of space. That's fine. go ahead and place these down. Diamond lock that one, and then we'll do our orange, 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 orange. Okay. So that's going to be our line that we use for lava. Alright, so now we're ready to automate this. And I think we are going to put this setting... I don't know if I just want to put it right over here, or maybe start a line right here. Tell you what, we're going to set it up right over here. So first up, we're going to set up the fluid transposer. This is actually going to be for water, is what we're going to use it for. So we're going to put interface setting right there, and then we'll just right click the back of that. Then our water source block, we're going to put setting right there. Our fluid transposer will have it setting right there. And then let's say the bottom side, you can accept liquid. So there we go, water, it's filled up. And then the back side, you can accept items. And we're going to set it to fill mode. That's fine. And then let's go ahead and upgrade this. We're just going to use the resonant conversion kit that we have left over from the quest reward. So it fully upgrades it to resonant level. We will add upgrades to this probably, like speed and stuff like that. But for right now, that'll be fine. Let's dig down right here. Let me go get some cables. Just some Fluix cable will be fine. And then what we'll do is we'll just run this out and up right there so that that interface is plugged up. And then we're going to say that we're going to have to run some XNet over. We'll get that here in just a second, actually. The Magma Crucible is going to sit right on top of this. This is going to be for lava production. We'll go ahead and clear that out. We're going to say that you can accept items from the back, and your output is the top side. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set our ender tank setting right there. And we're going to have an export bus on the back of this. There we go. And then our cable. And by the way, I don't know if anyone else has been having this issue, but I have been having this issue since the most recent update, where none of my quantum stuff, none of the abilities work. Night vision, hover mode, I mean flight still works, but the hover mode doesn't work. But, I don't know. It's bizarre. It's totally bizarre, like none of my night vision stuff works. And I checked the keybinds and everything, they're still where they should be, it's just not working, so... but anyways, let's go ahead and upgrade this Magma Crucible to hardened, for now. We'll eventually upgrade it more. And then this export bus, we're going to say you export stone. Not going to worry about a speed upgrade or anything like that. This will be fine. So there we go. It's starting to get stone. I might add acceleration upgrades. We'll see. We'll see how fast it goes and if we need them. So, okay, so then what we need to do is we need to get some XNet stuff. So let's go ahead and just get some network cables, and we'll get some connectors. I don't think we're going to need advanced connectors for the power in this case. So, and I already set, okay, I didn't set the output. We're going to say the output is going to be the right-hand side of this. And then what we'll do is we'll connect up a connector setting there. We're going to say that you don't connect in this direction, which is west. Don't connect in that direction. And then I need a connector right there. You also don't connect on the west side. And then we can just run these back. And, well, actually, there's a connection right there. So we'll just run it down. And then this this controller right here, we're going to say that in both these cases, it connects. This is the power line. We're going to say that you can insert. And then the fluid transposer right here, we're going to say that you extract, yeah, it's inserting right there. Okay, so the fluid transposer, we're going to say that you can extract single 20, that'll be fine. It's only going to do one at a time, so that'll be good. Okay, so there we go. And that's done. That's pretty much done. You can see this is creating lava. It is very, very slow. Okay, so we are going to make some speed upgrades for this. Let's take a look at... Did I ever add the ability to auto-create them? I'm not for sure if I did or not. No, I didn't. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the upgrades for thermal, just the standard ones, these right here, auxiliary reception coils. Let's go ahead and teach it. Crafting pattern. There's how you make those. And then I also want to go ahead and teach it how to make the, at least the reinforced kits, I guess. So, and then there's this. Let's teach you how to make the reinforced upgrade kits. We'll do it with fused quartz. Allow substitutions. That'll be good. I don't think we've automated the hardened glass yet. That's fine. We do have fused quartz, which works just as well. So we'll go ahead and just toss those into there. And then let me order one of these. And then I also, there's that. And then I also want to get 2 of these auxiliary reception coils. Go ahead and make me 2 of those. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll take our reinforced upgrade kits. We'll just apply that there. And then our auxiliary reception coils, we'll add those to our augmentations. And just kind of speed this up. Once the power gets up there, it'll start speeding up. Magma Crucible is kind of slow, especially when it's melting down stone. But that should be fine. It's not super fast, but every time it completes an operation, it produces 1,000 millibuckets of lava. And that's what we need. Eventually, we might need more, but this will be perfectly fine for the time being, because we're not going to be eating through it all that fast, in truth, for our current setups. And so later on, I can add a couple more upgrade kits, and a couple more speed upgrades, and it'll be decently fast. Okay, so next up, now that we've got our liquids automated, I've got a few things in this crate right here. Mana Pool, Hovering Hourglass, Soul Sand, a couple acceleration cards, Import Bus, Advanced Item Collector, Drum of the Wild. Okay, we're going to be using this stuff today. In addition to a couple new flowers. I did not craft them yet, and that is because they do unlock quests, so I figured we'd do them on camera. I'm going to want thermalillies, because I'm going to try to, of course, the jaded amaranthas that we're going to be setting up first up today, it does require some mana generation. Now, I'm going to try to pull different mana generations from this list here that's included within the quests, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Instead of just having Endoflames, I mean, honestly, all of our mana from the Endoflames right now anyways is going to the orchids, but it really wouldn't take much effort to add additional Endoflame setups. But, or you know, pull some of that mana off or something like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull some of these and use some of these, maybe not all of them, but a few different ones as we go through Botania. But today we're going to be using the Thermalilly as well as the Jaded Amaranthus. So let's go ahead, let's get these crafted up. And Jaded Amaranthus is Rune of Spring, Green Lime, Purple, and Redstone Root. And let me actually move this. I'm in the process because we're going to be changing this over a little bit. But over here I do have our Petal Apothecary. I did throw some vines in here, which kind of gives this mossy look. Just because it's going to look better. Because we've got all these leaves and stuff, and I figured a little bit of moss on our Petal Apothecary would look pretty good. So, but let's go ahead and toss all of our items in there. We're only ever going to need one of these. And go. There we go. There's our Jaded Amaranthus. And then that completes the quest. And then we need Thermalillies. And I'm actually going to make a few of these, in fact. I think we're going to start with like 3. Honestly, I think that'll probably be plenty. So we're going to need Runes of Fire, Runes of Earth, Orange Petals, and Red Petals. Okay, I'm going to have to craft a couple of those. That's fine. Well, while we wait, we can go ahead and set up our Jaded Amaranthus. And I would like to... Let me grab this and this. I'd like to set this up, like, kind of over in here. Let's see, I can bring it over to the left one more. And that's going to put 5 blocks... 5 blocks. Okay, I'm going to move it to right there, in fact. Okay, we'll set it up right there. There we go. That should be good. I like that. I like that position. And then we're going to set up a mana pool, and we're going to have this just setting... we'll put it right there. Then let's see. We're also going to want this storage crate. I'm actually going to use this storage crate for our collection, our item collection. So we're going to set this up like, we'll put it right there. I'm going to have all this stuff above ground. A lot of times I stick it underground, but I actually want it above ground, just so we can kind of see everything out together. And then we're going to have our Drum of the Wild setting like right here, I think. Is that what I want to do? Actually, maybe shift this over. Let me make this a floating flower, in fact. Okay, we've got, I think, everything. I accidentally imported all the items from that storage crate, because I was setting up the importer, and I forgot I didn't want to... by the way, we're going to make a pulse mana spreader. Just a mana spreader plus redstone. Get you a pulse mana spreader. There we go. That's going to complete a quest as well. But over here, I plugged up the importer. I just ran the cabling over because I'm going to want the storage crate plugged up, and then I accidentally plugged it all the way up and pulled all the items out of there. But that's fine. I remember what we need. So, and then we are going to get ourselves our thermalillies. So let's grab those. There's one, and quest complete. And there's two. And there's three. Okay. So we've got 3 of those. And our jaded amaranthas. Oh yeah, I forgot to make it a floating flower. I'm sorry. I did forget about that. I was doing some other stuff, and I came up here and I got my lime petal blocks from a mana spreader, and then I was like, oh yeah. I totally forgot about that. And then we'll just set this up. We're going to put it on top of the Drum of the Wild. And it should be able to reach the ground beneath it. And then we're going to do our Pulse Mana Spreader setting right there. So it's going to basically send its burst into the Drum of the Wild. What the Drum of the Wild does is whenever it receives a redstone pulse, like from the Pulse Mana Spreader, it's going to activate. It's going to break all the crops within its range. Or all the plants within its range. Basically, Horn of the Wild in drum form. And then what we're going to do is just set up our Hovering Hourglass. So let me go grab that. And I'm also going to have to slot all the flowers. So we'll do that here in just a second. Hovering Hourglass. And it's going to have soul sand in it. I'm not going to put the soul sand in there just yet. I'm also not going to put the item collector on top of the crate just yet. We will do that. But the Hovering Hourglass, we're going to put it like right here. Okay, so that's the entire setup, basically. And then an item collector on top of this. Normally I'd use a Hopper Hawk, but I'm going to use an item collector because it's instantaneous, whereas a Hopper Hawk, it takes it a second before it picks up the stuff, and I'd rather just get this stuff cleaned up ASAP. So, I think that's what we're going to go with. And then if we take a look right here, we have this entire area that's covered. And if I was to throw in, say, this Band of Mana, for example, I threw this into here. Yeah, there we go. You can see the Jaded Amaranthus is taking effect, and it's creating mystical flowers right there. Perfect. Perfect. And we could make it faster if we wanted to by using an overgrowth seed. I'm not going to, but we could. If you can put... I want to say you can put overgrowth seeds on the floating flowers, I believe. But we're not going to do that anyways. So, now what we need to do is we need to get ourselves... this is actually the really, really simple part. We need to get ourselves a couple things. We need to get a timer, for starters. So there we go. There's that. And then we're also going to want to get ourselves some placers. I'm actually going to go with, I think, 3 fluid placers. Is what I'm going to go with. So we're just going to need to get ourselves... Let's see. We're going to need 3 of these. We're going to need... Oh, do I not have any pallies? Or is it just not... okay, yeah, I've got pallies. It's just not... It's not broken down. Let's break that down. Even though this is like all pretty much not from... not from crafting. It's all from exploration, but... That's fine. I mean, we've got the stuff we can craft it. It's just we don't really have to craft it. Let me get some iron... Did I ever teach us to make buckets? No, I haven't. Let me just make a recipe real quick. And there is 3 fluid placers from actually additions. And we've got our timer. Let's get just a little bit of redstone. There we go. And we should be good. And I'm actually going to set these up. Wow, look at that. Just a little bit of mana from that ring, and it's like making lots and lots of flowers. That's perfect. We're going to have to slot all of these too, because they're not presently slotted. That's why I haven't put the item collector and haven't automated collecting of this stuff just yet, because we're going to have to put this stuff into drawers. But what we're going to do is let's grab this. And I'm going to have the thermalillies. I'm actually going to need another spreader as well. Give me just a second. I want to make another elven spreader. And I also want to make a velocity lens also. So this right here, you know, we talked about these last episode. The reason I want one of these, I'm actually going to put it onto the pulse mana spreader. Right there. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is because the velocity lens carries less mana, so we're going to use less mana. The pulse mana spreader already uses very little mana, But you add that velocity lens, it's even less mana, and it still does the exact same thing. Okay, so it's basically just going to use less mana for this setup. And then let's get ourselves, which technically I could have coupled it with like, you know, something else that produces mana and made like a dual lens, but honestly I think that's going to be plenty. Let's get ourselves a spreader real quick. Okay, I'll be back here in just a second. I have to go get the pedal block. It'll be a whole lot easier after this episode, I promise. Yeah, here soon we're going to have to automate these Elementium pipe pieces to make more spreaders. We are definitely going to have to do that because I hate making these things. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to dig this out. We're going to set the spreader setting like right there. Okay, and we're just going to just link this. We'll set this to bind mode. We're going to connect it to that fabulous mana pool. Okay, so that's connected up. That's connected. This, we're going to bind it to the drum, which it should be bound. It's not showing up as being bound, but it is shooting in that direction. So, and then I think what we're going to do next is our thermalillies. We're going to set these up like, let's see, that would put this on, well, yeah, that's good, because that's going to be 4 wide. Yeah, and then I'll have a block, and then we'll have 3. Yeah, that'll be good. Right back here, we're going to set up our thermalillies. So we're going to open this up just slightly, like that. And then let me get some more dirt, because I'm going to use planted thermalillies. I'm not going to use floating. And these things have a cooldown whenever they absorb lava. And if I recall, it's like 5 minutes, I want to say. So it is a decent little cooldown that they've got. And we're going to plant 1 right there. We're going to plant 1 right there. They don't have much range to feed. Well, actually, if I put it right here, does it connect? Yeah, it connects. Okay. Yeah, we're going to set it up like that. So we're going to have thermalilly, thermalilly, thermalilly. And then what we're going to do is just dig this back just a little bit. And this is actually going to be hidden, this little section. So you're just going to see the thermalilly setting there. But right back here, right, oops, I'm making a big old mess here. Right there, we're going to have our placer setting. And we're going to put these setting, we're going to have 1 setting right there. 1 setting right there. 1 setting right there. And once again, this is just 1 setup of many that you could use. You know, I've used quite a few in the past, like different designs for this. This is just 1. And then let's go get ourselves a redstone torch. And we're also going to need to get ourselves some kind of conduit. I'm just going to use... no, we'll just use standard fluid conduits. We don't actually need anything really, really fast for this. What we're going to do is we're just going to run conduit right there, conduit right there. And then in the middle, we're going to put our ender tank that's connected up to our lava system and just say auto output. And you could say this is building up on lava. And then here in a second, we should see lava go into the conduits. Maybe I have to use extraction mode. There we go. Okay, so we're auto outputting lava to these. And what I want to do is I want to take, I should have done this first. I'm going to set the redstone mode to pulse. Pulse, pulse. Okay, there we go. And, oh, you know what? These may not actually pick up this lava. I may have to bring the lava up. Yeah, I actually think I have to bring this up. I was thinking they could get blocks that were below them, like 1 block below them, but apparently not. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll put, for right now I'm going to put this right here, like that. I've got to figure out exactly how I want to design this area out. So, but we'll do a little system like this. We're going to have our fluid placer setting there, there, and there. Okay, and these kept their lava, which is good. And then what we'll do is we'll come back here. And we're going to set up our ender tank. And it's just going to set right there. We'll say you can auto output. And then we'll just run our conduits down. Extract. And once that fills up, there we go. Okay, so lava's being sent over to all 3 of those. That's perfect. And then we just need to set up some redstone here. So we're going to have basically we're going to build this out like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to run our redstone out like this. It's actually a very simple setup. You just have to watch out for the time limits, or the times on this. Actually, let's break that for just a minute. Because they do, like I said, they do have a cooldown of like 5 minutes, I want to say. Something like that. So we're going to set this down. We're just going to say, do this over 7,200 ticks. Okay, so that's about, about 7 minutes. Okay, and then what we'll do, or about 6 minutes, I mean. We'll put the redstone there, and then after this runs down, and it's got a bit of time, but for example, if I was just give this a redstone signal, just really, really quick, it pulses it, the lava gets placed, and we can see that these are now sending, yeah, see that one's got mana, that one's got mana, that one's got mana. They all ate from their block placers, and this is now sending its mana over to this mana pool, which is feeding the jaded amaranthas. And I was thinking that we could see the cooldowns, but I don't think that we can. Honestly, it's going to be plenty of mana to run this. I'm actually probably going to run a clay conia off of this system as well, just because we can. But I think if we did this over, okay, right there, see that steam? That's what the cooldown is. I'm sorry. The red particles mean that it has lava. So it's producing mana at the moment. But the steam that's coming up off of that means that usually that there's cooldown, I think. Yeah, there we go. And you can see it's stopping its mana production, but it's still got that steam. It's not producing any more mana. That steam will eventually stop, but it does take a little while. So this has about 5 minutes left, and I want to say it tells in the book. Yeah, okay, it'll produce for about 45 seconds, it'll produce mana, and then it has to cool down for about 5 minutes. Okay. So our limit of 6 minutes should be plenty. So it's going to make it, it's going to run for about 45 seconds, then it needs about 5 minutes to cool down. And that gives us a little bit of time there, just room for error. So about 6 minutes, we'll see. I think it's going to be good. Now this first one might be kind of off because I actually started this with a redstone torch, but it still says it has 4.5 minutes, so maybe that'll be okay. And we'll go ahead and take this velocity lens because we're actually capping out mana. At the moment, you notice that the spreader was backed up like the entire time. That's because we're just not moving it as fast as we're producing it. So really, I think I need a Gaia spreader. It's actually quite a bit of mana. You can see we actually made quite a bit just on one burst of this. And so what it's going to do is it's going to make flowers, and then we're going to automate breaking and collecting those flowers. So let me dump these. I should have space in here. I do. So we're going to have plenty of lava. We're going to have plenty of mana. The jade amaranthus actually doesn't consume mana all that fast. And then what we'll do is we'll set this up, so really all you'll be able to see is the cobblestone. Or not the cobblestone. It'll be something different, but we'll have the thermalillies, and then you can maybe see the lava back in there. I think is what we'll do. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to collect one of all the flowers. Okay, we should have space for all the flowers on us, I think. So if I grab, I'm just going to grab like all of these. There we go. It's light blue was the one that I was missing. Okay, so I just need to go slot all these flowers. Then I'm going to have to do void upgrades for these. That's fine. We're just going to do void because this whole system's like basically free. So what we'll do is we'll just go through and we'll just slot all of our flowers. Okay, so there we go. We should have all 16 flowers slotted. Let me go get the void upgrades. I think that's okay, I had a little bit of visual bugs while I was doing that. I wanted to make sure it was all actually there. Let's get a few more of those, and let me get storage upgrades as well. Okay, we'll just pop back up here. We'll go ahead and apply void on all of these, and this. It needs a void as well. And we'll say, for now, I'm going to say 416 stacks of each. Maybe 832 of each. Yeah, that should be good. Then I'll toss another upgrade in that as well. Okay, so now we're ready to actually set up the collection for this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get our item collector, this right here. And I also want a piece of soul sand. And I think the mana from the thermalillies should keep this thing running like all the time. Shouldn't have any issues, I don't think. Because it's actually quite a bit of mana. it'll produce a little bit more mana once we upgrade our spreaders. So this will be bursting here in just a second. We'll go ahead and put this right there. And we're going to say that the range on this, 5... Let's drop the Y radius to just like 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to say 6 on these, just to make sure it gets everything. Then we'll toss our soul sand in there, and it's going to start running. And after a minute, of course, soul sand is a minute. Sand is 1 second. Red sand, 30 seconds. Soul sand, 1 minute for the timer. And then after a minute, it should activate the pulse spreader, activating the Drum of the Wild and breaking. It won't break all the crops. I think it breaks 30-ish or something like that around here. So every minute, we're going to get quite a few flowers in. And then we can, in turn, use those flowers for, you know, whatever we want to use them for. And really, I guess I could have used a hourglass over there instead of a timer, you know, to make it more botanical, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's just about to break, or it's just about to send a pulse to that, or a redstone pulse to that spreader. And it didn't activate. Does it need a piece of redstone, actually? Okay, yeah, it works with a piece of redstone in between it. So, I seem to remember being able to just put it on top of the pulse mana spreader and it worked, but for some reason it's not, so... but with that redstone, it does work. So, we'll see it break here in just a second. I also added 2 additional... Yeah, there we go. It just finished. Sorry. But you can see it broke all the flowers that were over here. And they are now inside of this crate, and they're getting pulled out. Okay, I could add acceleration upgrades to the importer, but it's not really needed because this is pulling in the items, and it keeps up. You know, it'll pull all of them in the course of a minute, so that should be fine. But I did add 2 additional spreaders, and I just kind of shifted them over so you can see there's thermalillies and there's spreaders. Each one has a dedicated spreader that it feeds to. So, and this is going to drop lava here in just a minute. So we'll wait for that. Okay, this is just about to break again. So, I mean, you could probably do a couple, you know, maybe 2 minutes or something. But a minute is pretty reasonable. I do notice it doesn't always activate the redstone. It's kind of weird. It could have to do with our TPS. Maybe it just misses every once in a while. So sometimes it does take 2 minutes before it activates. But, I don't know. I've got to work on TPS again. It's like a non-stop struggle. Constant battle. I did drop this to 6,800 seconds. It seems to be fine, but I mean, it seems pretty reasonable. So here in just a second, it's going to drop out some lava. So 2 seconds, 1 second. There goes the redstone, there goes the lava, and there we go. They're all 3 bursting mana. And see, it's still not quite keeping up. It still starts to back up. So I think having a Gaia spreader is probably what we need. So, but you can see it's like constant bursts. And they do produce quite a bit of mana. They really, really do. Of course, they do have that cooldown time, but it doesn't really matter because it's like 45 seconds of non-stop max mana. You know, it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit, in fact. So, but then once we get these upgraded to Gaia spreaders, I think it'll be able to move all the mana. I think. We'll see. But anyways, Jaded Amaranthus is done, and from there, we can go through. Between episodes, I'm gonna go through and automate just all the petal recipes, so we can add in. Let me order some more patterns really quick. And then what we'll do is, like right here, we're going to say, like, if you take that, you get that. If you take that, you get that. And so on. I've got to add all 16 colors to make petals. Now, we could take this a step further and automate dyes. I'm not going to automate dyes in this pack. That is due to the fact that we actually have plenty of dyes coming in from the Magic Bean farm to cover all of our dye needs. We don't actually need them, you know. Because you get all 16 colors from that Magic Bean setup, and we've had that running, and it's done. But we do need the petals automated. We also need the glimmering flowers. So I am going to teach it to take all 16 colors of flowers, combine them with 2 glowstone, and you get, you know, a glimmering flower. Because I'm going to be using those for lighting. Once we get this set up, we'll be able to do the lighting in a lot of our base. A lot of these lower sections of our base. So we'll actually have proper lighting instead of torches soon. Because then I can teach it to make floating flowers and, You know, we've got to teach it pasture seeds at some point. Okay, I did end up setting up recipes for all the petals, all the glimmering flowers, and all the floating flowers. So that's done. Now, before we end out the episode, one last thing I want to do. We completed some quests today. Pulse Mana Spreader, that's done. Thermalilly, that's done. And then lastly, the Jaded Amaranthas, that's done. So we got ourselves 3 loot chests. First up, we got 24 bone blocks. Then we got 12 mana dust. Once again, that's pretty useful. And then we got 8 speed upgrades, which we'll use those. So, not terrible rewards. Not the worst that we've had. Not the best, but not the worst. We are going to get into automating the Clayconia here soon. Also, of course, the Orchid Ignum. Once we get our Orchid kind of stabilized, we'll keep scaling it up. But once we get that all kind of done, then we're going to set up an Orchid. And we are going to do, once again, a separate mana setup for that. You know, something just a little bit different for that. So, we're well on our way. We're here pretty soon. We got a couple more episodes of Botania automation type stuff coming up. Then we're going to switch gears and do some of those other tasks that I wanted to do. Then later on we will come back to Botania. So main thing I wanted to get done is just the Orchid, and I want to get settled so that we have a really good Orchid setup that we can scale up. Then we'll switch gears and we'll come back to Botania later on. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.